Howdy folks, George Shively with you here on another project. This is a 2003 31 Open Tiara. Got a little ahead of myself here. Started working on it and forgot that I should probably take a video of it. So we've already started the work of taking some of the old gear off, as you can see. Got the switch panel out in the front here so that we can better access the hydraulics, because we're going to be putting in an autopilot. And that switch panel wiring sits right down on top of the hydraulic connections. So with that out of the way, it just makes it a little bit easier and we don't accidentally bump anything off or anything silly like that. So typical behind the helm Tiara, gotta love it. Neat, clean, accessible. Oh my God, imagine that. A boat designed to be worked on. Wow. The only thing really that we're going to change in the area here as far as wiring is the boat probably came with this little guy, which is a 5-position ATO style fuse block. Well, it was kind of sandwiched right down in there. You can see the 2 holes where this was mounted, and it really didn't have any provision to be labeled, so you kind of knew what you were working with. So we're going to change that out and put in our standard ATO style fuse block. We'll probably end up putting it in this area, which makes it real easy to see. Everything will be identified. We've got some of our wires pulled already for the autopilot. This is the rudder reference and the NEMA 2000 feed for compass, and as always labeled compass, so that when we go into our NEMA 2000 network, we know what each one is, and we're not sitting here going, well, is it this one or is it this one? We know. So stay tuned. Again, sorry for the jump start here, but I think you'll like the progression. Thanks very much for watching. Howdy folks, George Shively back with you here on the 3100, actually in my shop, but on the 3100, working on the new fascia plate. This is 1/8 inch thick aluminum, and this is going to be covering the entire area where the instruments go on the Tiara. Again, boy, when it comes to building a helm, Tiara's got it, but you can see everything's been cut out, deburred, wiped down. You'll see the blue tape across the top. We're going to take this and fit this on the helm, and we're going to match where the screws are for the gauge panel up top for the screws in here, because if those aren't matched, it's going to look kind of funny looking. So God is in the details, as they say. So the screws in this panel will match up with the upper panel, and it'll look like it's been there from day one. But once we do that, we'll drill the holes, we'll countersink them, and then off to paint. Stay tuned. Hi folks, back with you on the Tiara. As you can see, this is the layout for the new helm piece, and you can tell that I've made my marks here in conjunction with where the screws are, so that that new panel, when it's affixed, will look to match to the upper gauge panel. That's very important for an overall nice aesthetic. We've let me remove this here so that this doesn't inadvertently fall, and put this over here for the moment, and pull the helm back momentarily, and you can see, if you take a look inside, we've got our autopilot wired up, and over on the other side there you can see our NEMA 2000 junction point, everything labeled so that we know what it is. So if there's ever a problem, you're not hunting for connections, not knowing really what they are. And our autopilot pump is located down on the starboard side of the helm, mounted with the new hydraulic lines going up. There's our interface right there for the to use the existing transducer, so that we don't have to replace that. And above that is our new fuse panel, and that's not done yet. We're still in the process here, but that gives us the ability to label everything so we know what it was, because when the old fuse panel, which was located down there, was there, you didn't know what was what. You'd just start pulling fuses and see what might be blown. by having everything right here and labeled, you know. So very important. So just wanted to touch bases here for a little bit, and we're waiting on a few products, and we'll be back soon. Thanks for watching. Howdy folks, George Shively with you back on the Tiara for our last look. As you can see, we've got our radar screen up there. Also, you can see that we've got our autopilot as well as our VHF radio. I like to use the VHF radio with the rear mic, which is down to our left here, simply because it keeps the clutter on the helm kind of out of the way there, rather than having the mic cord hanging there. It's down below and just looks a lot nicer. Garmin, our radar's currently on, but if we want to go to our charts, we can see here that we're up in the Western Basin area. Our NEMA 2000 link is up and running, as you can tell by our coordinates on our autopilot as well as the VHF. VHF has also had the MMSI inputted, which is very important. Take a look real quick here at the dome, and that is up on top here. You can see there is the dome on top of the array, on top of the arch rather. 24 GMR 24X HD, nice radar, 4kW radar. So want to give you one last peek here on the inside too, which is kind of important. One of the things we talked about initially was that we just had a small fuse block in that area right over there, which wasn't labeled. We didn't know what it was, you know, what was what. Now, if you come up over here, we have a new fuse block and everything is labeled, so we know exactly what is what. It's very easy for the owner to open up, see if the fuse is good, and very quickly be able to help diagnose what the problem might be if they are out and about. So our brain for the autopilot, our NEMA 2000 backbone, again, everything labeled so we know what each feed is, very important. And just keeping the inside of the helm nice and clean. Tiaras are known for a beautiful inside of the helm. Last thing you want to do is goober it all up and have wires everywhere. We have not done that. So again, just kind of the last look here on the Tiara. Close up the helm here, and there we have it. Left some space over to the port side of the helm so that in the future, if the owner wanted to add something, there was room. So, but really looks good, turned out very well. So, as always, if you'd like to get in touch with us, you can call us at 216. Howdy folks, just a quick look here at the 31 Tiara now that we are all done. Turned out very well. You can tell that everything is linked via NEMA 2000 as our coordinates are on the autopilot, also on the VHF. VHF has had the MMSI entered, which is very important. If we want to go to our radar screen, we can bring that up. Radar has been installed and working really well, actually in conjunction with the heading sensor for the pilot, so that'll give the owner the ability to have tracking of other targets showing closest point of approach and time to closest point of approach. Quickly here, just want to show you the inside of the helm too. As you'll remember, there used to be right in that area a small fuse block, but nothing was labeled. Well, that's changed. There's the fuse block, everything's labeled, very important. So if there's a problem, you can try to at least find out some basic information very quickly. You know what's what. Autopilot pump down there in the far corner, and everything neat and clean, just the way most Tiara helms are. Autopilot computer, our NEMA 2000 backbone right there, everything labeled so we know what feed is what. Very important. And that's about it. Just kind of wanted to give you a last glance here as we get ready to wrap this one up and show you how it turned out. So as always, if you'd like to get in touch, 216-407-6553. Our email, South Shore Marine Electronics at oh.rr.com, and our web address, southshoremarineelectronics.com. Thank you very much for watching. Appreciate you staying tuned.